Refresh your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Reimagine your bathroom with up to 40% off select faucets during our Bath Savings event. Need it today? Order by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Same-day delivery on eligible in-stock items, subject to availability. Fees vary. Visit Lowes.com/same-day delivery for full terms.
A text says, "You're on my mind." A bouquet from 1-800-Flowers says, "You're my everything." Heartfelt moments belong in the real world, not just your phone. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped millions of people make memories that'll last a lifetime with gifts they'll cherish forever. Their expertly curated arrangements and gift baskets ship nationwide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't wait for the next big moment. Make it when you visit 1-800-Flowers.com/SXM today. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/SXM.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the show. Are you ready for January? We're in it, so I hope so. Oh my gosh, look, it's Jackie Zabrowski.
And Carol Clegg.
Yeah, you know, it's difficult because you don't realize how much a person curses until you're told to not curse that much.
We're trying an experiment where we don't curse just to see if YouTube will stop punishing our videos.
Can I also just say, it used to really annoy me when I moved, and I don't know if this is just a regional thing, but when I moved from the Northeast to Florida, I remember it really annoyed me because people would say cuss, and they didn't say curse. And they're like, no, you cussed. And there's something about, I think it's up there with the word supper for me.
Oh, I hate both of those.
I hate the word supper.
I hate supper.
And I hate, you cussed. It's like, no, I cursed. Like an adult curses.
Is cuss just the word curse with an accent?
I don't know.
Like, why you cursing at me?
Oh, maybe
like
it
that?
is. Is that what it is?
I kind of think so. But then Northeastern people will say, well, no cussing on my show. And I hate the sound of that.
Yes.
Because it sounds like puss. It sounds like other words that I don't like it.
It's also an annoying or stubborn person or animal. He was certainly an unsociable cuss. So we're learning things here.
Oh
never tell us we never taught you anything.
We're halfway through January, although we're recording this obviously earlier, so we can't say how things are actually going by the time this comes out. Who the hell knows?
But I bet it's going to be all sunshine and lollipops and rainbows everywhere. Come on, Carol.
I can't wait for the $1 million check I'm getting later this month. It's coming. I'm manifesting it.
Yay.
Oh my God. Are you watching? How is your Housewives journey going really quickly before we start on anything?
Stalemate.
You're at a stalemate?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
I mean, I'm in the middle. I'm in the beginning of season 8 of Real Housewives of New York, but I've been watching other things.
Yeah, you've got other things going on. And then
it's, you know what's great about it though is it's always there.
Yeah.
I always have it. I can always go back to it.
Have you ever watched Beverly Hills?
No, and that's going to be the next whenever in 8 years when I finish New York.
Beverly Hills is tough because they have some great seasons and some super boring seasons, and so you have to kind of navigate. But there's
who I'm going to, so just start preparing when I need to watch and what I need to watch.
Well, let me tell you. So there's this new girl on the current season of Beverly Hills, if anyone's listening, and she's apparently a very well-known influencer and author, and she wrote this book called Rich as F Word. And even I'm not going to say it because we're trying not to swear as much, but also even in the title of the book, the U in the word is like an asterisk. So Rich as and it's so funny because on the show, she goes, I have no financial experience. It's about how to become rich, basically. The book is how to handle money and this and that.
Okay.
But her thing is telling women how to energetically handle money and get out of their own way in terms of the mental blocks around money.
It's the mental blocks
It
around
is
money.
not at all about you should put $100 a week into a high yield savings. It is zero.
It's like get a quartz crystal.
I think it is zero actual financial advice because she says, I don't have any financial experience per se. She has no bank experience.
But she was given the opportunity to write a whole book about it.
She's a beautiful woman who's made a ton of money talking about women. And so one of the women is getting divorced and her husband is kind of screwing her around a little bit with the finances. And so one of the other housewives says to this new girl, can you give her any advice about what she should do to protect herself? And this new girl goes, Her name is Amanda Francis. She goes, you just need to like get right with yourself and figure out who you want to be and this and that. And the other woman who I love, her name is Bose. She goes, what in the frou-frou is this? She was like, I was asking for some tangible advice and this girl is like just saying a bunch of word salad. And it was so funny because it just encapsulated like what I feel like I see online all the time.
Oh,
it's just people being like, and look, if her way of getting you to stop thinking about money, if it helps you, great, I guess. Whatever works for you, works for you. I just think it's so wild to be a best-selling author talking about money and you have no idea how actual finance stuff works.
Yes, and I'm also, I'm not just shitting on the idea of rocks in general, but I will say someone not that long ago had something very important to tell me and like needed to talk with me, needed to meet with me. And I was like, okay, great. I thought that it was something that, I don't know, going on in her life or something. Yeah. And she had a tiger's eye that she had to give to me.
Oh, and like a stone, like a crystal?
Right. And here's the thing. I was just so busy that I got there and I was like, wait, I'm sorry.
This is it?
This rock. This is right. Okay, thank you. Oh. And I had to like change everything in my brain. And it was like the mean girl in my brain wanted to say so many things that I actually don't even really feel. If you believe in the power of rocks, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I hope it works
just
for you.
Don't lure me.
I just thought it was like an opportunity. Like I thought I was about to get a great gig or something. And it was just such a cartoonish letdown, but I couldn't show it.
Yeah.
I had to be like, wow.
Love this.
A tiger's eye.
Love this.
And
I
do love it. But I do understand, how did she write the whole book? She must have a ghostwriter.
How do you have a whole book that's just kind of like, don't let money get you down. Just rise above it. Love money. Like, people I don't know, maybe I have to read the book.
Pay their bills, people that can't survive, the people that can't feed their kids.
I looked her up on like online and like threads and stuff. Some people were saying,
they're not buying her book.
Well, no, some people were like, oh my God, I love her. Like her things changed my life. Great. If she's changing people's life, that's amazing. People are buying it. I just don't get, like, I want someone to say, hey, you have this much money. Here's how you turn it into more money.
Yes, please.
I don't want someone to go, you have to just like get over your mental block with money. It's like, I don't have a mental block with money. I need more of it. That's it. There's no mental block. I just need more of it.
I just need more money.
I need ways to make more of it. Like, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know how we got freaking into this at all.
You also don't like the word supper.
I hate it.
And
at my kids' after school program, that's like what they call their snack. They call it supper. So my kids will be like, at supper, I'm like, ugh, I hate it.
I don't know if I've ever.
It's because it's like the word sup makes me feel like someone is slurping soup.
I mean, supper. I need
hate it.
Sup in my supper.
Whenever Jared says supper, I go dinner.
Dinner. It's dinner,
babe.
It's dinner.
Yeah.
I'll call it almost anything else, but I'm not calling it supper.
I don't know what it is. It's really just the word. It's not like a person said it that I'm nothing against you Southerners that say supper.
No.
I just don't like it. Okay, wait. Can I read you this email before we get started? This is falling under our general bitchery category that we start at the beginning of the thing. Okay, so somebody wrote us and said, "You've got very low stakes bitchery here. My friends and I read The Housemaid for book club this month because the movie adaptation starring Sydney Sweeney premiered today.
Yes,
we all, and this came in. Honestly, this came a month ago, but this is an evergreen topic. We all really enjoyed the book, and we were excited to see the movie and compare them. Although I was expecting Sydney Sweeney to be disappointing as the lead. The four of us paid $80 on tickets. We snuck in holiday buzzballs, obviously. Love you. Did. To watch the worst movie I've seen all year. That was in caps. And she's talking about 2025. So
even with the sneaking of the buzzballs, still the worst movie.
That sucks. If a buzzball can't make a movie good for you, then there's no hope. They changed every possible detail from minor to major, and I can confirm that Dindri Sini was off. I couldn't tell if that was on purpose, that she spelled the name wrong, but it was funny to me. Was awful as the lead. So are we the bitches for falling for this age-old trick of getting too excited for the movie version of a good book? Or are screenwriters and directors the bitches for putting their own unoriginal flair even when they have a well-loved book to go off of? Thought as an AMC girly, Jackie can relate to this bitchuation in particular. Love you both. Sydney Sweeney's number one hater.
I love the line that you're in to be Sydney Sweeney's number one hater.
I mean, this is this is great. You're illiterate. You read a lot. I used to read a lot more than I do, and I used to go, sometimes I kind of, you know what I feel like is the perfect combination? Is that I read the Hunger Games books before I saw the movies, but after the casting had been announced. So when I read the books,
so you were
I had Jennifer Lawrence in my mind.
Okay.
I had Rue in my mind. I had Woody Harrelson. Like I knew who these people were. And so I wasn't disappointed by any of the castings or this isn't who I thought this was going to look like or be or whatever. And then sometimes... But yeah, I agree. Like almost, I don't think I've ever seen a movie that's as good as the book. Have you?
Oh, a movie that's as good as the book.
The book is always better.
The book is usually
the book pulls
better.
you in. It's like an experience you have for days and weeks as long as it's taking you to read the book.
Yes.
Whereas the movie is... At best, I think you're saying that's exactly how I envisioned it. They did it exactly how I wanted them to. That's at best.
Right.
I don't think you're going to ever say they improved upon it.
Right.
How can they improve upon it, really?
Right. Well, but then there's, times like I would throw out like The Shining. There was a time, now I know that.
I never read the book.
See, I loved the book. Love the movie. I'm pretty sure Stephen King hates the movie because he hated everything that was changed with it. But also there were parts of the book that I found scarier than in the movie just because that they couldn't have portions. Specifically, there is one hedge maze, not the hedge maze, with these hedge animals that I was so scared of reading this book. Because again, we read these books way too young.
Yeah.
But like when I look up what movie is better than the book, up top in searches, Godfather, Jurassic Park, Shawshank Redemption, Silence of the Lambs. Now, these are all books.
I guess I've never read any of these books.
I haven't read any of the books. One of them is American Psycho, but I feel like I don't know if I would say American Psycho, the movie, is better than the book, but I feel like people are going to come at me because of that.
Yeah.
But I can't really remember. And oftentimes I read things with such... I don't want to say like I'm not like the other girls. It's such an imaginative brain, but I see very specific things. So I'm very often not happy with the casting of stuff. And I appreciate the question of like, is it bitchy to keep trying to do this? But then you see the heated rivalries and then the heated rivalries that like show so many, it just made smut so much more accessible to so many people that fills me with the joy of like, but maybe it could, maybe it could get the people back into the book. Maybe they'll keep reading because you saw for so many years people lamenting, like generations of like, oh, if you turn them into movies, they'll stop reading. But now you've got the Leonardo DiCaprios out here being like, nobody's going to the movies anymore. It's going to be, what did he call it? It was like going to be like a strip club or something. He said it was like, it's going to be like the Highlight Studios or something. What did he say?
God.
Do you remember, Adam? Jazz clubs, that's what it was. He said that that theaters were going to be just like jazz clubs soon because
like extinct.
Because no one's going to be going to them. And also, Leonardo DiCaprio, keep your mouth shut. All right,
his movie's one of the only movies I've seen recently. I mean, it's
and it was
like,
great.
Yeah, people are going to the movie less, but I do think they'll go to the movie for a good movie, and then the industry just makes some bad movies and is like, why are people going to the theaters?
But then there's things like Wuthering Heights, where they're making another redo of it. They're also not being anywhere close to the text whatsoever. They're completely fucking with all of it, and it upsets people every single time. But then you tell me the cast, and then you tell me that it's a Charlie XCX soundtrack. I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah.
You're
finding hooks.
I know that it's not the book, but also then go read Wuthering Heights.
When I Google this a little bit and poke around on Reddit and stuff, there are some things where people are saying like, oh, like Silence of the Lambs and the guy who wrote all those books wasn't that good of a writer, and like Silence of the Lambs is a great movie. I think maybe it's like if they changed the whole ending or something. I don't know.
Right. How do you feel about them, Cheech? Because then some people find, I've read from directors that are like, but I need to put my own spin on it. But how do you feel about it? At that point, it's like, they didn't. What was changed with Heated Rivalry is, I will say, Heated Rivalry is the second book in the series of books. But if you watch Heated Rivalry, a friend of mine that I had gotten to watch it was like, and why is the third episode all about a couple that doesn't even matter? It's because that was the first book, and because their love story matters to the rest of the story. So that's how, yes, they changed it from the book, but Heated Rivalry, it seems, had been the breakout book. So would it have been smart? You know, it's like in this conversation, is it bitchy to change Heated Rivalry? But technically, they just put them together to make them a better flowing story
and
for
that's
something
also,
that was a hit.
That could be something that the network asked them to do. Do you know what I mean? Like that might not even be
their decision. So who do we place the anger towards?
I think like you guys to answer the writer, to answer Sydney Sweeney's number one hater. No, you're good. I think that's great. And by the way, Jackie Zabrowski over here, my freaking, I can't stop swearing. Jackie Zabrowski, my pop culture Sherpa. I used to be the person of my friends. I would say I still am of a lot of my friends. I know what's going on. You tell me things that I go, what is Heated Rivalry? Like a month ago, it is the minute you tell me, it's all over my feed. It's everywhere. But you're always beating it to the punch. You're always telling me things. If it's horny. No, there's other things you've told me about that. Then I've been like, oh yes, Jackie told me about that. So thank God we have this podcast because other people are counting on me.
I'm here for you guys. I'm here for us all.
But I will say you are a little bit of the bee for going to a movie and expecting it to be as good as the book. Like, allow yourself to be pleasantly surprised, but I would go in with a heavy dose of skepticism. And if you're going and you're spending the money, it must just be because you're really dying to see what you read acted out in front of you.
Right, and also not to be a basic bitch, but I did read Game of Thrones before the show started coming out, and I remember being so broken by the Red Wedding in reading the book that I couldn't wait for the scene, and I felt delivered. I thought that it was just almost as upsetting and also just as surprising in the show as it was in the book, because the book, I don't know if you're familiar with what happens in the Red Wedding.
Yes,
I'm not going to say.
am.
Okay, yeah.
I was there.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know if you. I just like when I first read it. I
was watching that show in real time as it came up. I never read any of it, but my husband has. And so they knew what to expect. And him and his friend watched it with me and my friend. I would think I was the only one in the room that didn't know what was coming, and they were all watching me.
Oh my God, were you devastated?
Like, what? I was going crazy. But I'm thinking of stuff like Gone Girl.
But then they shit the bed. But that's also or is that the book's fault and not the? You know what I mean?
I'm thinking of stuff like Gone Girl or like.
Girl on the Train.
Yes, literally.
Which that was the other one I was thinking of.
Because like Girl on the Train, I thought that book was just okay, and I actually thought the movie was maybe a little bit better. Gone Girl, I like the book a lot better. I think that woman's a good writer.
I never ever watched
but I also thought the movie was quite good. That's just not who I had pictured in my head.
For who's
Sometimes
going to be
it's harder for me because I'm like, I wasn't imagining Rosamund Pike as the girl. I had a different girl in mind. And she did a great job, Rosamund Pike. It's a good movie. You're just like, you're competing with your own memories in your own mind. It's just, they're different mediums. But I can tell you that you're not the bee for thinking that Sydney Sweeney is overrated, because I'm hopping off the train
because
of her.
Also, The Housemaid was very highly rated. So I mean, according to this person, we should definitely read the book and not watch the movie. So
maybe I'll read the book. I'm not going to go see the movie, but I'll read the book. It's so funny. One of my friends told me she thought it was kind of like fun, the Housemaid movie, but maybe she probably didn't read the book. She probably didn't read the book. I think she thought it was like cheesy fun or something like that. Anyway, should we get into this week's BITCHuations?
Yeah, let's do it. Also, you can send in your own to who'sthebitch.com. Go on over to who'sthebitch.com. You can leave us a voicemail. You can send us an email. You can write a subscription is what I was going to say. You can't do that.
Ways.
You can't do that because I don't think you can write a subscription. But there's plenty other things you could do over on Who's the Bitch. So,
also, what day of the week does page 7 come out?
Thursdays.
I will be on page 7 tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So if you like Who's the Bee and you've never listened to P7, get on over there.
Yes, come check it out because honestly, if you want more pop culture conversation, that's where you get it.
That's where Jackie's showing me and educating me.
That's where you get it.
Although I'm up on stuff.
Oh, you are up on stuff.
I'm up on some stuff. I'm constantly explaining to people that are younger than me, and I'm like, you're supposed to know this.
Especially as a parent. That's one of the many things I love about you, Kara, is that you're still so tapped into society. Even as a parent.
It's from late night scrolling and I need to stop and get some more sleep.
Yeah, but how are you supposed to keep your finger on the pulse?
How? Exactly.
Stay up late.
Exactly.
Stay on your phone.
At Nature's Bounty, the belief is simple. You already have a brilliant body. Supplements just help support your journey. For over 50 years, Nature's Bounty has offered vitamins and supplements to help you eat, sleep, thrive, repeat. From magnesium glycinate for heart and muscle support to hair growth capsules for fuller, thicker hair. And probiotics with 20 billion live cultures for digestion. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature to thrive. Learn more at naturesbounty.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Refresh your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Reimagine your bathroom with up to 40% off select faucets during our Bath Savings event. Need it today? Order by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Same-day delivery on eligible in-stock items, subject to availability. Fees vary. Visit lowes.com/same-day delivery for full terms.
All right, let's get into our first email.
Let's
Jackie,
do it.
Please read it.
Hi, Kara and Jackie. I love you guys and love the show. I've been a fan of LPN for a long time, and I was so excited to see Jackie have another show. I love the dynamic between Jackie and Kara, and you gals feel like a safe space every week. Thank you both for putting this together. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're so sweet.
You guys are really always bring it with the compliments.
I know, you're so sweet.
I mean, it's so nice.
Okay. So, I've been with my boyfriend, Vince, fake name, for 6.5 years. We bought a house together last year, and we've lived together happily with my tween son from another relationship. I'm in my 30s, and Vince is in his 40s. Before moving in together, I made it very clear that I wouldn't do this unless marriage is in the future. I didn't give a time frame as I have conflicted feelings on time frames. Whoa, we were just talking about time frames last episode.
Yes.
Everyone is different. There's no cookie cutter timeline that fits everyone. He agreed and says marriage is in the future for us. Since we moved in, his sister Janet, fake name, has bought a house that the parents paid off, gotten married, and separated from her soon-to-be ex-husband. The man is an awful guy, turned more awful after the wedding, and is now dragging out the divorce, arguing about the house the parents paid off, among other things. They've been in divorce proceedings for about 8 months now, and the whole family has been thrown for a loop. The parents are paying for her lawyer, which fees are adding up, and there's a lot of tension and hurt that are ruining the family dynamic, mom, dad, sister, and boyfriend. Any talks of weddings, marriages, or relationships are met with negativity, anger by the dad, sadness from the mom, and annoyance by the sister. It feels like every conversation we have with them is focused on the situation. The father once said that there will be no more happy weddings since the divorce was filed, knowing his son and I aren't married. I feel for his sister and parents. No one should have to go through this, and it's really just one thing after another with this divorce. Here's where I may be the bitch. I want to get married to Vince. Legally, I want him to be my partner and face the world together as a couple. I love him so much, and this has been the best relationship of my life. I feel like he's pushing a proposal due to his family. When I try to bring up anything with him around marriage, he gets quiet and not as enthusiastic as before the divorce started. With the negativity about marriages within his family, I can't help but to think that it's influencing him. I've started pulling away from family events because I really can't take anymore about how marriage is a mistake, how awful the soon-to-be ex-husband is, or where the money could be going instead of the wedding/house/divorce, which my boyfriend hears all the time in their family group chat. It doesn't feel fair, and I'm over tiptoeing around them. Everyone was supportive of the sister during her relationship and even in a divorce. But if I mention even one of my family members' wedding, it's shat on and turns into a rambling of negativity. I'm dying to tell them to find something else to do. I would like to be married on my dad's birthday in 2027. He passed in 2023, and I think it would be a good way to remember him. My parents were married on my mom's dad's birthday as because he passed when she was younger. It's a shitty tradition, but it's our tradition now. Am I the bitch for wanting to get married soon, even though his family is going through this? Am I the bitch for getting annoying at their lack of interest in anything else that's remotely positive? 2025 sucked ass for a lot of reasons for everyone, but I'm starting to hit my breaking point with them. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry this was much longer than expected. Noelle.
Also fake name. Noelle. This is tough. This is tough. But ultimately, you need to have a conversation with Vince.
Yes.
Your life, he's in his 40s.
Yes.
He's not financially reliant on his parents.
Yes.
What they're going through and what his sister's going through with this divorce truly does not have that much to do with him or you.
Especially because
unless you're asking them to pay for the wedding or something.
That is what my question is.
Yeah.
Because if you guys need help financially with the wedding, or if they were planning on giving money, whatever your situation was, and you're planning on getting money from them, I understand how tight this is. But if you're not getting any money from them and you're going to be planning a wedding, you can do whatever the hell you want. It has nothing to do with their money. Everything that you were bringing up about all of this, especially, it's like, I feel like you weren't bringing up how upset everybody is with, necessarily like the sisters' relationship falling apart. It sounds like it's all about the money. And unfortunately, if there's one thing I've heard through the grapevine, is that divorce and all of it is all very, very expensive.
Yeah.
So I understand why they're complaining so much, but I don't think that as long as you're not waiting for them to, because you weren't saying that any of this has to do with like Vince's timeline specifically, that you have to go talk to Vince to see how he feels about all of this.
Because maybe this is affecting him.
Right.
Maybe he's like, oh my God, I can't.
But have a genuine, outside, like when you're not upset, not right after a family gathering, where you sit down and man, I just called one the other day because Jeff and I need to go over some things in the house, like some bigger things that we need to sit and like actually discuss. And I was like, we need a family meeting.
Yeah.
And he's like, just the two of us? I was like, yes. And we're calling it a family meeting.
Well, the goose can come too.
Yes, Gloria can also sit in, but like we needed to have a family meeting.
Non-voting member.
And I think you might need to have a family meeting with Vince.
Yes.
I think that you need to sit and be like, how do you feel? What do you think? Can we plan through this?
Because, okay, this might seem contradictory to what I said last week's episode where I was like, nothing has to be on this specific timeline. I think you're being very cool about your timeline, about being like,
specifically said
timelines
kids
aren't for everybody.
Though there's a kid involved.
Sure,
with this.
there is a kid involved, but he's a tween.
Yes.
So he maybe is like, maybe that doesn't mean as much to him at that point. Like if it sounds like Vince is maybe raising him as like his dad. I don't know. I don't know if he has a relationship with your previous partner and his father. But what I'm saying is, I do think it's okay to say to him, hey, I've never pressured you on a timeline, but we've been together for 6.5 years. I have this idea that marriage is still important to me. And now I've changed my position on the timeline, and I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Like I need more of a timeline now.
Yes.
Because my thought is I would love to get married on my dad's birthday. That's very far out. By then, all of this divorce stuff with your family will be settled. Also, I understand that this is stressful for your family, but it doesn't really involve you and I. And I'm assuming here that you would have mentioned that they're going to pay for the wedding, but if they're not going to pay for the wedding, and also, if it doesn't even need to be a big wedding, maybe you're just going to do a small thing and that's fine. Maybe this will be the perfect antidote in 2027 to this horrible 2025, 2026 divorce that's been going on with your family. Who knows? But you need to let Vince know that that is still your priority, and it's something he agreed to when you guys bought a home together,
right?
And moved in together, and you didn't really enmesh him in your son's life. I think you said tween. I thought you said son, but maybe I'm incorrect. And yes, your
my
son.
tween son.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you are kind of within your rights to say, are you still going to uphold your part of that agreement that we kind of verbally made? And can we look at this timeline that is something I'm looking at? And if he is going through some kind of, because you're saying he acts a little bit different now.
And then he's not as enthusiastic, but I would say don't come at him and just be like, hey, I just noticed that you're not as excited. Is it because of all this stuff?
Is it because of all this stuff? Because if it is, I think you need to really express, I understand what's going on with your family, but that's still something I want.
Yes.
And I need to know now if that's something that you don't want anymore. And then you can do with that what you will. Or you guys can go to a therapist together and start to work through some of this. Maybe there are prenups and financial protections that you guys can put in place together so that he would feel more comfortable so that this kind of thing can't happen again, even though no one is implying that you are a jerk on the level of your ex-brother-in-law or whatever.
At least I appreciate that Noelle does seem to at least not bring up the fact that any of the shards are coming Noelle's way. You know, like that it is all about that and has nothing to do.
But I get that. That would be frustrating if it's that's our plan. That's our plan. It's like if our plan has always been to move to Vermont and suddenly the family is like, we hate Vermont. Don't anybody in this family ever go to Vermont. That would bum me out.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
Like, that's something that you guys have been talking about and working on. And I think you and Vince just need to be in much more open communication. It sounds like you're shouldering this a lot on your own. You need to talk to him. But
also, I would definitely
don't back down. Don't let this jerk guy, and you know I keep wanting to use different words, but we're trying to be clean this episode. Don't let this jerky guy be the one who determines your life path with Vince. That's crazy.
Right.
And if it's just about legality and stuff for you, because you mentioned that you didn't mention anything about wanting to have a big lavish wedding or anything like that, then just tell him that in 2027 on your dad's birthday, you want to go to the courthouse and you want to just do a small thing and that and how does he feel about that? But I agree, maybe back away from the family. I also know what it's like when there's some kind of like thing happening in a family and everyone's fixated on talking about it.
Well, especially, it all happened within a year and then it's 8 months of the divorce proceeding. Like, of course everyone's wrapped up in it. But also, maybe if you guys got engaged, I know that the father angrily, probably out of anger, said that there's going to be no more happy weddings, which, oh my God, I roll into the next generation, please. Come on.
Also, I'm sorry. They bought a house for their daughter and paid it off.
Yeah, y'all are just
now
upset.
Are helping her with her divorce and going after and dealing with all this crap because they fully helped the daughter with all this stuff. What does Vince get? Can Vince ask for just some support while he gets married?
Right.
Because if Vince isn't getting all this financial help, then he deserves at least to not have to listen to a takedown on marriage every time he hangs out with his family.
Because I would hope that if after this conversation between Noelle and Vince happens, I'm hoping that Vince will also go to his family and say, and we're going to be planning a wedding, and I'd like all of this negativity about it to cease.
Yeah.
And I think that is what I would ask.
And that shouldn't be too hard. You should be able to talk about it when you're together and not when I'm around.
Yes. Yes.
My parents do it with politics. Your parents can do it with hating their ex-son-in-law. But I hope that you and Vince get married on the day that you want to get married and all that.
And also, it is not a crazy timeline. I just want you to know in your brain to be married. In 2027 you want to get married.
A year to 2 years, because who knows what point in 20. I don't know when your birthday is.
Crazy bride, right? Yeah. Like you're not being crazy. Like that is completely understandable and acceptable.
And you've been together 6.5 years. And I think after 6.5 years and owning a home and having a child involved, it is okay to say, you know what? I originally was loose on a timeline and now I'm older and I would like to get a little bit more clarity on the timeline. And I understand you have some family stuff going on, but we need to keep continuing to plan our own lives. We cannot revolve around this crap storm of negativity that's happening with this. Okay. All right. Next submish. Thank you, Noelle, for letting us know about
crap storm. You're scaring us.
Something else. But, I hate not swearing.
January's the perfect time to pause, reset, and rethink what you're sipping. Ritual Zero Proof delivers the taste, aroma, and bite of real spirits without the alcohol. Whiskey for a sour, gin for a G&T, agave for a margarita. There's a zero proof option for every cocktail. A simple 1-to-1 swap makes it easy to mix, enjoy, and keep your goals on track. This January, choose more. More flavor, more cocktails, more moments. Ditch the rules, keep the ritual. Find yours at ritualzeroproof.com.
Milo's Pro Rewards members. Go big during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Buy more and save more with up to 20% off job site essentials like primed finger joint boards when you spend $3,000 or more. Plus, get up to 25% off PVC DWV pipes when you spend $250 or more. Shop Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 123. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Okay.
You got
Hey, ladies, love you both. I'm trying to keep this short, but it's complicated, so here we go. Would I be the bitch if I invited my ex-boyfriend's mom to my wedding, but not my ex-boyfriend?
Oh.
So we're putting John in quotes. That's the ex.
Okay.
John and I dated for around 10 years. When our relationship was good, it was great. We were best friends. We had a lot of fun together. We supported each other through some hard times. And I think we learned and grew a lot as people together. Life ended up taking us in different directions, but we broke up on good terms and remained friends. It's been about 8 years since we broke up. We talk occasionally and have visited each other a handful of times.
Great.
That being said, there were also multiple times in our relationship where I thought he was cheating. Mostly it was just a gut feeling and his behavior. And there were a few weird situations like a quote unquote friend who was visiting and supposedly sleeping on his couch, posting naked pictures of herself in his bed.
Whoa.
Or finding another woman's underwear in his drawers.
Whoa.
And once a woman reaching out to tell me that John was the father of her baby, but was refusing to take any responsibility or have any contact with them. Oh, he always seemed to have explanations for these things. The friend took the pictures as a joke while he was at work. So-and-so came over to do laundry because her washing machine was broken and must have left her underwear in the machine. Joke. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And the lady with the baby was someone he briefly dated in high school who was deeply mentally ill. Even though he had taken a paternity test, she refused to believe the results. So these are all his excuses. That's what this is Kara talking.
Hey.
He also made me feel absolutely crazy for suspecting him, calling me paranoid and insecure, and accusing me of projecting my quote unquote daddy issues on him. I truly believed that I was the one at fault for not trusting him and being insecure. And I spent years in therapy trying to work through my issues. Meanwhile, his mom, Emily, and I, that's also a fake name, it's in quotes. Meanwhile, his mom, Emily, and I became very close. She gave me a place to stay when I had nowhere else to go and became like a surrogate mother to me. When she had cancer and was doing chemo and radiation, I was there to take her to all her appointments and do all the stuff around the house that she couldn't manage because she was so tired and ill. She helped to pay for me to go back to school to finish my degree with the agreement that I'd pay her back when I graduated and had a better job. And when the time came, she refused my money because she was, quote, just doing what any mother would do for her daughter, end quote.
Oh my God.
We still talk on the phone regularly and are very close. While John and I have remained friends, Emily and I have remained family. When I told Emily about my recent engagement, she was thrilled for me. I told her that she and John would be invited to the wedding and I would love if she would come. Since then, an old friend I'd lost touch with reached out to me. She'd heard through the grapevine that I was engaged and assumed I was still with John. She told me that she and John had been sleeping together off and on for years while we were dating, and that she knew of at least 3 other people he'd hooked up with during that time, including the lady who'd post the naked pictures. She had broken it off because she felt guilty, but John had convinced her not to tell me. When she heard that I was engaged, she felt like she couldn't let me go through with marrying John without knowing that he was a cheater. At first, I was like, whatever. That was years ago and it's all water under the bridge now. But when I looked back and remembered how he gaslit me into thinking that I was crazy and paranoid, all the hours spent in therapy trying to figure out what was wrong with me and why couldn't I just trust him, I realized I don't want to be friends with someone who could treat anyone that way. I haven't told him that we are no longer friends because I don't want to give him the opportunity for more lies and excuses. And even if he's changed, I do not want an apology. Nothing he can say or do can make up for the years I spent feeling like there was something deeply wrong with me because of my quote unquote trust issues. The thing is, I'm worried that if I invite Emily, she will want to know why I'm not inviting John. What am I supposed to say? I'm also worried that if I tell John, he will try to make Emily stop talking to me and not go to the wedding. I don't know how to handle this situation. I haven't even told my fiance because I don't want to taint our wedding planning with old relationship drama. He knows about John, but I've never told him about the gaslighting. And as far as he knows, John and I are just good friends who dated a long time ago. Ladies, please help. Is there a way for me to invite Emily and never talk to John again without being the bitch? Or if Emily asks why John isn't invited, do I go full bitch and tell her the truth? Thanks always.
Now, why is it going full bitch to tell her the truth?
Sounds like...
is that a bitchy thing for me to ask? Because I feel like as someone that, and I am saying this is someone that in the last year has gained more older female, for like much older because of the choir that I was in, of women that I was talking to. And I understand finding someone that is a mother type that can also help you with things like that is quite a connection that you've created with Emily. I do wonder, how would she take it if you don't go in? Because I don't think it's going full bitch to be like, I would want you there on my wedding day, but your son really, really hurt me in a lot of ways that I'm actually finding out more about as time has gone on.
And if you don't want me to share those with you, I understand that because he is your son.
Because you don't need to go into details. But it seems like Emily at this point knows you and knows that if you truly mean this, that I feel like she'd understand.
And if she wants the information, you can give her the information. And if she doesn't, don't give it to her. And she should be able to respect that. But I also worry that
I would also talk to your fiance about it. Well, I would definitely at least bring it up with your fiance, just because, like, no matter what, this still hurts.
It's not that big of a deal for you to not invite him at all.
Oh yeah, don't invite him.
I mean, just even if you hadn't heard this information, you talked to him. You said you've visited each other a couple times. Yeah, I would say you could easily tell him. I guess you say we talk occasionally and have visited each other a handful of times over the last 8 years. That's not someone that needs to be at your wedding.
No.
If you feel weird that you already told Emily you were inviting him, you could just say, we had to pare down the list a little bit, so I'm going to invite you because we're still so close. But I don't really see John that much, and
I don't want to put the pressure on him.
I don't really want to put and my fiance. Make up what you want to make up if you want to lie about it, but
also, you talk to your fiance.
Eventually, and what we're suggesting, I think, right now is also just Band-Aid shit for getting through your wedding, because you are eventually, if you want to keep having a relationship with Emily, going to need to tell her that you're not going to continue a friendship with her son.
Right.
And I think a lot of things could happen here. I know nothing about their dynamic as mother and son. You said you're worried that he won't let her see you. Is that their relationship, that she listens to everything he says?
Right.
Because if that's the case, I'm afraid that what could happen is you could tell her everything and she'll be like, well, I talked to him and he gave me all these excuses.
Right.
But
I feel like it really depends on that relationship, because there's also plenty of older women that I've talked to that know full well what their children are, because at this point they also have lived with their children all of their lives. And so maybe Emily knows even
Emily
more
will
than
go,
you know.
That asshole. Maybe she'll agree with you
and be like, it makes a lot of sense, and maybe this would help Emily in the long run, because as we all get older, we were talking about this, I think the last episode, talking about our relationship with our parents, and that changes second by second. I feel like that never stops. And for some of us, like for me, my relationship with my mom is only getting better and better and better. And I love that. But that's not the case for every single person.
Yeah.
So maybe she really does see who John really is.
Yeah. So I think you have to feel it out. I think in terms of not messing up your wedding, if you want it to be absolutely drama-free, I think you should just say, by the way, I've had to change my list a little bit, Emily. You're invited, but I'm not inviting John. I hope that's okay. And then I think once your wedding is in the rear view, then you can say, you know what, I didn't really want to get into the drama while I was wedding planning, but I do need to tell you that I'm no longer pursuing a friendship with John. And our advice is always communicate. So I would reach out to John and after your wedding and just be like, hey, I did get all this information from this person, and I really feel like I believe it, and I trusted my gut, and you did gaslight me. And because I think it could be great closure for you. And I also think you could be doing a favor to the next women that this man is going to date, because he is a master gaslighter and manipulator, and he's a cheater.
Yeah.
But you don't owe anybody any of that.
No.
So you also don't have to tell him shit.
Yeah,
you don't tell him anything if you don't want to. But I do think that Emily, his mom, is going to want to know what's up, whether you allude to the cheating or you get into actual. You could just say, it's come to light that, some of the things that he made me feel I was inventing were true. And I feel like that had a lasting effect on me that I never really considered until I found out that it was all manipulation by him. So I think Oh, that is so, but like, I hope you're getting at least a little bit of, I know it's like you spent all these hours in therapy, but I hope you're getting at least a little bit of satisfaction of knowing, like, trust your gut. Like, our gut is so important.
Yes.
It's like, you can tell when a guy is giving you all those excuses. And I know, listen, I know this was years ago. You've been apart 8 years.
The panties on the street.
Yeah, you've been apart 8 years. You were together 10 years. So when you met him, it was 18 years ago.
Right.
So I totally get you were a different person. But it's like, this is a message for everybody listening. It's like, trust your gut. Like, sure, we can be paranoid at times, everybody. But like, if there's 3 situations like the ones you just named, and I'm sure there were more, you can tell how someone's acting. You can tell these are excuses eventually, you know, like listen to your gut.
Also, I do, not to push this though, I do think you should talk to your fiance about it, because I know that you don't want to bring up like old relationship drama, but this is a big thing. This is a big thing to find out.
I think you should mention like, hey, you know what? This person contacted me. I just found out that my relationship with John is not as I thought it was. He was gaslighting me about a lot of stuff. And I don't really feel comfortable having him at the wedding anymore or being friends with him. And I'm sure your future husband is going to be like, no problem.
Great.
I support you.
Would love to not have him at the wedding.
I agree. There's no need to keep him in the dark about this, because he didn't do it. It's not.
And I feel like it's the kind of thing that he could find out later on and him be like, why didn't you just talk to me about it?
Exactly. Because he might say, well, why aren't you inviting John? I thought he was your good pal. But like, I think you should just say, like, I definitely found out that he was cheating on me a lot and he'd been gaslighting me. And, you know, like, I also think it's important. All of your relationships lead you, like, God bless the broken road that led me straight to you, if I can quote Rascal Flatts.
Oh, God.
Like, I'm just saying, you know, that was my friend's wedding song. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. But like, you definitely should be learning off of all your past relationships. So I think it's important that your future husband knows that you had a 10-year relationship wherein you felt very gaslit.
Yes.
And you had a problem trusting.
Because also, I hate to break this to you, as you continue to wedding plan, there's a lot of that shit that comes up with wedding planning.
Yeah.
A lot of old stuff comes up. A lot of like remembering why you don't talk to this person.
Right.
I feel like a lot of memories and past things that you kind of also push down all kind of come up. So this might not be the first bump you hit. Hopefully it's the only one you hit. But like, that is a part of, and you want to include your fiance with that.
Yeah.
That's part of the ebbs and flows of marriage too.
Yeah. I would definitely bring it up to him. Because I don't think, again, I think the reason you're not bringing it up to him is because this guy traumatized you into thinking that you are broken and have some kind of relationship this distrust, or that you're quote unquote crazy, which is what gaslighting is.
Oh my God.
And you have it a little bit in the back of your mind. I don't want to bring this drama to my new guy. And it's like, no, tell him I'm vindicated. Like,
yes.
I found out that all of my suspicions were correct. I am absolutely not paranoid and untrusting. I am actually very in tune with what's going on around me, but I did date someone for a long time who tried to convince me otherwise.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's, you gotta tell him. I agree, Jackie.
Please let us know how
let
it goes.
us know, but he is not coming to your wedding.
No, he better not. Oh, we better not find out he came to the wedding.
And Emily has to come. And
oh my God, yes, I'm in love with Emily.
And maybe she'll scream at her son for being a jerk. And maybe he's different now. Maybe he's changed after 8 years and doesn't do that anymore.
Sure.
And
but I don't know. This person just hit her up because she thought that they got engaged to him to be like, I've been banging this dude. So,
but but a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's possible he's changed, but I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for people to change without a lot of therapy and introspection. And I don't know if no one's ever really caught him.
Right.
He hasn't been caught.
Yep.
Because you were with him for 10 freaking years and you didn't catch him.
Ooh, I just want to shake him.
I can't believe he convinced that girl not to tell you at the time either. He sounds really manipulative.
Yes, I hate him.
Yeah,
he can't come to the wedding.
We hate John. John must die. I don't know what his last name is. No, John Tucker must die was the reference. I don't want to kill anyone. Okay, Jackie, read the next. This is a DM. This is from Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
You got
Am I the bitch for wanting my gaming desk in the living room? For context, my partner and I have an almost 2-year-old daughter. My partner likes to spend time in the living room watching TV shows, and sometimes we'll have a show we're watching together. But as a person with ADHD, I've spent most of my adult life, I'm 26, watching TV while playing video games. And I mostly play single-player games, so no problem looking away often to watch an important part of a show. Now for the BITCHuation. I want to have my gaming desk in the living room. That way I can enjoy my favorite pastime while spending time with my family. I love being around them, and I would easily choose to spend time with them over gaming. But I end up checking the clock to see how long I have left until our daughter goes to bed and I can play games. And I hate that. Like I said, I have no problem turning away from my game as soon as my daughter or partner wants to interact with me, and I feel like my desk wouldn't take up any extra space in the living room because we have a weird 3-foot dead space between the end of our couch and the wall. But my partner is absolutely against it and won't really give me a reason why other than it'll look ugly. She spends her time on her phone playing games while watching shows, so I know she's not worried about me being distracted. So am I the bitch for wanting to enjoy my hobby and spend time with my family instead of being isolated and feeling guilty while I game? I hope that makes sense. I'm not a writer, so I just let my thoughts flow. Thanks for reading, and I'm a huge fan of the show. She also gets upset when I mention that I want to go play video games and acts like I don't want to spend time with her. But she's the reason I'm not spending time with her because she won't let me put my desk in the living room. We're very much a in the same room equals quality time together kind of couple. I wouldn't want the video games in the living room.
I'm so sorry to let you know that you are incorrect here.
I think, unfortunately, it just can't happen.
I have ADD too. I have ADHD too. This is not spending time together.
It's not.
Just FYI. You're saying we are an in the same room equals quality time together kind of couple. I'm going to just tell a little anecdote. Like, I had a friend who was dating someone that she thought she was going to marry.
Okay.
She was in love with him, thought she was going to marry him. He broke up with her out of nowhere. And it devastated her. It was like tears and tears, and I was like there for her the whole time. And she basically found out through therapy that she's like, we didn't really spend that much time together. We thought sitting in a room and watching TV together was spending time together, and it's not. And I get it. Like, you have a 2-year-old, I have a 4 and a 6-year-old. I've had a 2-year-old. Like, I've had a 2-year-old twice now. I get it. Like, sometimes it feels like that can only be the only time together. But you both need to sort of work past the ADHD of it and if TV is going to be the only thing you do together, it should be what you're doing. Both of you put your phones away. I am so guilty of this.
Yes.
I'm checking my phone sometimes. I'm on it. And I've really made a concerted effort to be like, I'm going to put my phone away because then I focus on the show. I ask my husband questions. He doesn't like that, but that's what I'm doing. And that informs our dynamic more. Then we have a conversation after the episode ends about what we watched. There is absolutely no way that you are fully invested in what you're doing while you're playing video games. Even if she's saying that she's not mad about you being distracted, she is frustrated that you're distracted. You have a 2-year-old daughter, or is it a daughter? Yeah, you have a 2-year-old daughter. What are you showing her that quality time with your partner looks like? Does it look like one of you at a gaming table popping their head up every once in a while to check out the TV and her mom on the phone? Why don't you guys all sit and play with the kid? You looking at the clock and wondering when the next time you get to do the thing that you want to do is, that's life. Like, that is parenthood. I am constantly looking at the clock counting down to their bedtime. That doesn't mean that I get to move my stuff that I like to do into the communal space where I'm supposed to be spending time with my family. You're 26, like, you're a young parent. I totally get like where you're coming from, but I think you need to reframe like that gaming is not a hobby you can do alongside your family. That's like, it's just not. Like, your wife's probably not like articulating it to you and is just saying the ugly thing, but she doesn't like it when you went off to play games. I don't like it when my husband is like, asks me like, how much longer are we doing this or whatever, because he wants to go to something else. I'm like, no, we're doing this right now.
This is what we're doing.
We're doing a puzzle with our kids. That's what we're doing.
Yep.
Like, and that's being a parent, and that's like kind of being a grown up, you know, like you just have to like, you don't get to do the thing you want to do whenever you want to do it.
Right. And that video games is a you time thing, because even if you say that you're not distracted, I'm assuming if she's watching television, you're probably going to have headphones on while you're playing, right? Even if it's a first person shooter.
I don't know. I don't know anything about video games. I just know that video games is like an immersive thing that I know. I don't know the difference between, I know that the difference between single and multiplayer and stuff, but you're not fully engaged with your family. No matter how much you say like you're attuned to popping out so that you can look at the important part of the show, there's simply no way you can be fully focused on a show or anything else while you're playing a video game. And I also would encourage you guys to just like turn off the screens, because they're not like, look, I let my kids watch TV. I'm not saying that. But for that to be the main family thing that you do together, you guys need to find something else.
And also bring each other back to the present world. I will say that my husband is very big on quality time as well.
Yeah.
And also acts of service. And I used to look at my phone so much when the two of us were together because I'm always working. And we put our phones and sure, you're still looking at it, but if we're sitting down to watch a movie or watch television together, we both put our phones away, and if one of us picks up the phone and starts looking at it for too long, the other one will pause what we are watching. And we do that not in a passive aggressive way, in a, I just figured, why don't you get done what you need to get done on your phone?
Jared will go, should I pause the show?
Exactly.
Because he knows I'm just going to ask him 15 questions that I missed while I was on my phone.
Because I wasn't paying attention. So, and I know that might be an annoying thing to say, but I actually really liked it because it helped bring me back, because I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't even know, because then I end up looking at Instagram, or like I go to respond to something and then you're doing other things. And it brings me back to the present. And Jeff and I do have a lot of activities we do together. Also, now I probably can't say that to a young family with a 2-year-old.
Right.
Like, I'm saying this as a childless person. Jeff and I have multiple activities that we do together that have nothing to do with just sitting and watching television. And I love that about our life. We actively are pursuing different artistic endeavors. We're actively looking for that. But we're also, like, that is something that is an active part of our relationship. It is trying new things and growing together. But I do apologize that I feel like I can hear every parent out there being like, yeah, it would be real nice to be able to take up a hobby.
The age that your daughter is, 2 years old, is like, it can be really boring. You have to play these boring games with them and like, you know, but that is part of like connecting with your kid and being a parent. My kids are on me all the time. They're like, you're on your phone again. You're on your phone again. And I'm actively trying not to do that. If you think your daughter is not clocking that her dad would rather be playing video games than playing a game with her or reading her a book or even just like sitting and watching what she's doing, sit and watch what she's doing. They get that. And she's going to start, like, I don't know how much she's talking it to. She's going to start saying something about it soon.
At some point. Now, I have a question for you as a person with children. After you put them to bed, do you guys have together time or do you have separate time?
It depends.
Okay.
We will talk about it. We'll go, one of us has work. And so the other one will be like, oh, if you're going to work, I'm going to watch my crap, right? Like, I'm going to watch my Bravo and my nonsense, you know? And, but if we're like, oh, we're both off, let's watch something together, because if we haven't planned a date night out of the house, that's what we're doing. We have to, I mean, look, we actually did do a puzzle yesterday, but we've never done that
just
literally in our lives. Well, we started it with the kids and then they got very frustrated and they quit and we wanted to finish it. So we finished it.
That's great.
But like, I'm just saying, for the most part, it is just us watching TV at our house.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like, that is all we can do because we have our kids. But there is a difference being in the same room together, in my opinion, and I'm not a professional, but I've heard professionals say this to people, is not quality time together.
But I view it as
coexisting.
And I believe that I've brought this up on this show, and I'm sorry if I have, but Jeff and I both have separate time together is what we call it. It's like we say, do you want to have separate time together?
Yes.
And then he'll be like designing on it, like what you were just talking about, where it's like we're both doing two separate things, but we're in the same room. But we specifically call it, do you want to have separate time together?
Oh, he says, do you mind if I sit with you while you watch your crap?
And
that's like what he says.
That's great too.
And he just will sit there while I'm watching Bravo, and that you could do that. Like,
but that's a separate activity. Like, I do feel that is a separate activity. That is not us connecting.
Yeah.
Because when I'm talking about, like, I mean, I'm laying on Jeff, holding him as we watch the episodes. You know what I mean?
And
like,
you're making little comments to each other. You're engaging in the show together. I'm not saying watching TV together is not, but I don't think just merely existing in the same room together is quality time because you're doing something else. So I think that you need to schedule when you're going to be doing video game time. Make sure it works around your wife's schedule. And I think, unfortunately, as the father of a 2-year-old and a husband, you're just not going to be able to do that every night for hours like maybe you did before you were married and had a kid. Unfortunately.
I am coming off very judgmental just because I have quite an ick from like big gaming that I feel like I wouldn't want in my living room just because I don't want to see it all the time. I don't want to hear the pew pew. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to see it. I'm the same. And so maybe people are listening to this being like, you guys just hate video games.
You hate video games.
Sure.
And you are right.
Sure.
You are correct.
But I'm telling you what I think your wife thinks also.
Yes.
Like I'm telling you, your wife, she's getting upset when you mention wanting to go play video games. And then you're going, yeah, but it's because you won't let me do it in the room. Like, I think she's not saying it, but she's telling you, I want you to come in here and spend time with me that's not you playing your video games.
And maybe it is that, like, after you put the kid to bed, maybe you do have, like, okay, let's have a half an hour of, like, cuddle, talk, catch up with the day, and then I'm going to go play video games.
Watch one episode of a show, and then you go do your thing.
And then you make, like, a tradition of it. Like, rather than whatever you got to get done, maybe it's every time the kid goes to sleep, we do this, we have our time, and then we have our separate time.
And you have to like learn to enjoy that and not make video games the only thing that you're deriving any joy from. Like you have to. Like that's, and maybe there's people sitting at home, like listening to this right now going, but my husband and I have the gaming room in the thing and we're fine and we do that all the time. Good for you. I don't think that's working for this writer because his wife doesn't like it.
I have a friend that both of them are gamers, and so both of their gaming
and they
setups
game
and they
together.
game together.
Yeah.
I'm saying specifically this. It seems like the partner
she does not
don't
like that. And specifically, I don't think that many people maybe game together in the same room, like while they have a 2-year-old toddling around. Like, you know, there's probably stuff in your games that you don't want your 2-year-old to see. I'm not imagining you're not just like playing Sims or whatever, you know, right? Sims isn't even like that kind of game. But you know what I mean? Like
it is. It's very stressful at times.
I just mean like, yeah, I think I appreciate you coming to us with this. And like, I think that it just seems to me like you have to
let it go.
Yeah. We gotta like a little bit separate from the gaming a little bit, I think. Just a little bit. Not like get a new hobby, but like you have to come up with some things to do with your family that is family
with the
stuff.
family.
And then the gaming is what you do on your own
Because
time.
honestly, something tells me it's just gonna get more difficult the more they talk and the more they do, right, Kara?
Yeah.
that they just want more things.
And unfortunately, this is a reality of parenting. You lose your free time. Like you do lose a lot of free time. You don't get to do the stuff that you want to do as much as you used to. And you can't just move your hobbies into your like life with your kid because that just doesn't work. No. So I hope that this helps. And I mean, hopefully you can like talk to your partner and like make a schedule where you guys can do stuff that's, do you know what I mean? Like,
don't give up on it.
Yeah.
But also, what are you going to do with the weird 3-foot dead space? I feel like at this point now, maybe part of you talking with your partner and like, okay, let's say I don't put this there.
Space.
Well, let's plan this dead space. Let's use this.
Maybe the dead space is a little play kitchen for the 2-year-olds.
Right?
They freaking love those things. They love those play kitchens.
Something that you
can find them on Marketplace for like $30.
Yeah.
But let us know how it goes. But I also think you and your wife should talk about this because I think even if that's what's happening now, where you like being in the same room and you play a game and she plays on her phone or whatever, in a few years, you guys are going to be like, we never talk to each other anymore. You know, like it's just not sustainable. Yeah. That's not sustainable as like the only way to spend time together, kind of both on your devices. And I see people doing it all the time. And it's just, I don't think it works in the long term. But, you know, again, this is just our opinions and we're the bitches. But thank you for bringing your opinions to us. Okay, we're going to do one last voicemail before we wrap up. Oh, no, wait. What did I do today? Oh my gosh. We went right from our first one. I have 2 voicemails to play. I'm so sorry. We actually have 2 voicemails before we leave, and I love both of these voicemails. So here's the first one.
Thank you for calling Who's voicemail. Who's the bitch? Beep.
Hi, Kara. Hi, Jackie. Low stakes BITCHuation here. Okay, so a little bit of background. My wife, her best friend, Taylor, works for Carhartt. Okay, she does customer service, and I really like Carhartt. Okay, man, I wear a lot of Carhartt. You know, at this point, most of my wardrobe is Carhartt. My pants right now, I'm wearing
dependable
pants,
products.
a shirt, and my coat. Anyway, Taylor works for Carhartt. She gets 50% off of everything, you know. So I like to take advantage of that. That's how I have so much Carhartt at this point. It's been a handful of years. Anyway, the other day at work, one of my buddies walks up to me and he says, "Hey, dude, you see fucking Meyer has Carhartt t-shirts for 25% off right now." And I was like, "Dude, I get it for half off." And he's like, "Oh, no shit." And I'm in a good mood. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, dude, like, I can get you whatever. You know, like it's my fucking discount to give out or nothing." So I'm like, "Dude, send me what you want, and, you know, we can get it ordered for you." So I'm the bitch here because that's not my fucking discount to give out. Dude sends me a list of, like, a bunch of shit. I thought he was going to do just a couple items, but he's got, like, a bunch of shit he sends me. I think, like, 7 or 8 items.
Whoa.
So I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of stuff. That's, like, way more than I thought it was going to be. So I sent it to Taylor, and she's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" She's like, "Who is this stuff for?" So she more or less turns it down. She's like, "Dude, no, I'm not ordering this shit for dude. I don't fucking know that guy." So I'm the bitch in that situation. Okay, that's not my discount to give out. I'm the bitch there. So my BITCHuation is, homegirl says, "Oh, you know, I think we need to put you on a Carhartt cleanse. You know, most of your stuff is Carhartt. You could be spending your money elsewhere and other stuff." And I'm like, "No, man." I kind of rolled with it. I didn't want to, it was people pleasing. I just kind of rolled with it. Like, "Oh, maybe I could." I'm like, "No, I don't want to, I'm not going elsewhere to buy. Why would I? You know, I don't think that's an issue."
I'm obsessed.
I love this person.
So I'm wondering, is Taylor the bitch for telling me I need to go on a fucking good cleanse, dude? A Carhartt cleanse. When how I see it is that it's just my fucking, okay, oh, you guys understand what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
You know, low stakes. That's my buddy. Love her. What do you guys think? Love you guys.
Okay, I'm upset. I'm so obsessed with this call. I had to obviously play it.
I'm obsessed.
I mean, listen.
Don't take their Carhartt away.
I love that you're a self-aware bitch because you're like,
I know.
that was not your discount to give.
Self-identified bitch is always my favorite of the bitches.
Because you had the moment to be the perfect bitch and go, "Oh, 25% off? I get 50% off from my sister-in-law." Or I mean, my wife's bestie. Bye. Like, you don't have to offer it to anybody.
Yeah, but he even said, he's like, "I was helping out a bud."
I know. You were feeling generous, but then you abused it a little bit. And now Taylor is like, I don't think she thinks you should go on a cleanse. I think she's like, don't ask me for anything for a little minute.
Don't hit me up anymore.
I think you do your Carhartt thing. It's clearly part of your persona, and they do make cool stuff. But I think maybe let's wait a beat before you ask her for something else.
Also throw it out there.
And then the next time you ask her for something, ask her for just like one thing. And then like, let's earn the trust back. Because I think she thinks now, or just go, "Hey, I'm sorry I offered the guy the thing. I was just like feeling weirdly generous. Like, I won't do that again."
Honestly,
is it cool if you still order a few things for me because I'm not getting off of Carhartt?
The vibe of everything about this person that called in, if he said that to me, I'd be like, "Of course, bud. Of course I'm going to still give you the 50% off discount.
Like, I don't know.
I know you were trying to get it for other people. I get that. I think we all understand."
Also, who's the bitch is your guy at work. You can't say,
It gets
7 or 8 things. Come
That's too many
on.
things. You don't do
Put in
that.
2, maybe 3
No,
max, and
you
go,
don't
is
do
this
that.
too much?
But
Like,
also, I know, and the Northeastern, Kara, I'm sure you know plenty of people that only wore Carhartt.
Yeah.
I know so many people that only wear Carhartt. And you know what? Carhartt, sexy.
Yeah.
There's something about it. There's something about the utilitarian of the fabric.
it's really like,
sexy.
yeah, it's really like
rugged.
a rugged outdoor guy.
Yes.
Like, Vermont, Denver, it's giving me that kind of vibe.
Or a bitch that's going to take care
But
of me.
I love your Midwestern accent too. That was killing me. You're
Yes,
so funny.
you're
But
so funny.
I don't think she's a bitch for suggesting your cleanse. I think she was making a joke, and she was probably telling you to like lay off on using the discount code.
I love that you
But
called her a bitch, though, and that
I love
does
that you're
make
like,
me want to call her a bitch.
I love that you're like, I'm not going on no cleanse.
No,
it's so good.
You're the bitch.
It's so good. But yeah, let us know when you are able to get your discount back because I like to make sure that you're still going to be
Never stop
in Carhartts forever.
Getting that discount, because this is the thing. Taylor's worked there for a long time. She's probably kind of done getting that stuff. You're going to let that discount go to waste? And I feel like that's how you approach her with it. In a while, when you want to use it again, say, what are you going to let the discount go to waste? If you think about it, what are you going to take the money from me and give it to Carhartt?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
make
Like,
it
they
like
don't
a
need the
joke.
money.
Be like-
Make it a joke. You're such a cutie. I think that you could definitely get away with being like, oh, come on, let me use the coupon again.
Yeah.
I'd let you use the coupon again. And I understand you as a bitch that loves to share a coupon. If I can share a coupon, I am sharing it. It made me so upset.
But I do get, because sometimes I think if you work at corporate, you get like admonished if you're abusing.
You get a little yuckoed by the big ups, but also fuck off. Come on, let them use the coupon code. And I think that we should all have coupon codes.
Are we not allowed to have anything anymore?
In fact, share the coupon code with
Yes,
us.
give it to us. We're going to give it to all the listeners.
Yeah, they will all have the coupon code.
She probably has to place the orders
It
herself.
seems like she does, which also, shame on you, Carhartt. Let them just use the promo code, all right? Give it out. Honestly, somebody a while ago, I think we did abuse it. Someone that worked for a company that we all gave us a coupon, but then the coupon you could use as many times as you wanted. And I feel like then you're giving us the gift of using the coupon, and it was from a big corporation. So screw them, right?
Yeah. Come on, get out of here. All right, let's listen to this one last voicemail.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch. Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hi, Kara and Jackie.
Ooh.
I'm a longtime LPN listener. I'm a first day That's Messed Up listener. I love both of you. I love both your works. It's great. I've met Kara in person, and it was awesome. And so, yeah, I'm just going to get into it. It's pretty low stakes. One of my besties, she moved. I'm on the West Coast. She moved to the East Coast last year. And she started dating a new guy, and they ended up getting married, and all is well. He's great. I've met him twice, and I don't know him that well. I've talked to him a few times on the phone while we're talking, but, we don't really know each other that well. And so she told me that they went to a sex shop. They live in New York, and she told me they went to a sex shop while they were in the city, and he was telling him about how the type of vibrator that I prefer is this type, and Kara told me all the details about a shopping trip and an experience that me and her talked about. So I just want to know if I'm the bitch for overthinking it and being like, it's kind of weird you're talking about my vibrator preferences with your husband who I barely know, or if it's like, if she's the bitch for telling him about my vibrator preferences, because I really don't even know him, and that's the part I keep getting hung up on. So, yeah, I guess I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know. Bye.
What do you think, Jackie?
So I feel like Kara might be more the person you want to ask about this.
Why?
Because I feel like for me, I'm so open about my sex and my vibrator usage, and I like to encourage other people. In fact, I think that it was a little I made people nervous with the amount of sex toys that I brought to the White Elephant this year, but I had a bunch of extra I had extra sex toys, and I feel that we can talk about our sex. And now here's the thing. I get because the caller is not saying that, like, I know you talked to your best friend about this, and obviously you talked to besties about this, but if I had found a vibrator and I had told my best friend, like, bro, I mean, my best friend bought me my first vibrator, my first, like, nice vibrator. I had not had one. She got it for me for my 30th birthday. And because I didn't know anything about them at the time, which is very funny, cut to 8 years later, and I know so much more about so many of them. And I would not feel uncomfortable about something like this. It wouldn't vex me in the slightest. However, I know that if I were to, if you told me about the kind of vibrator you like, Kara, my husband is also friends with you. So I would feel weird about talking to him about the kind of vibrator you prefer because you guys are friends. I wonder if the bestie thought it wasn't that big of a thing.
And if you did go talk to him about it, I don't know why you'd then report back to me that you and Jeff were talking about it.
Right.
Like if you were like, oh, actually, Kara loves this kind. That would be whatever. If I didn't know about it, I'd be like, okay, that's not something I have to think about although I guess that's not fair either, because then Jeff might be thinking about that next time he sees me or something like that. So I'm a bit with the caller though on feeling weird because like you don't know this guy. You don't know this guy,
but then it's also like, but is it better if you do know him? That is where my question is.
I don't think either way. I think it's like you are like me, where you'd rather just keep that between your girlfriends.
Right.
I think I'd rather you just keep that between your girlfriends. But
obviously the bestie brought it up because she didn't think it was that
big of a deal
that she was, and like I feel like if I were in the brain of the bestie, I would be like, oh, but my best friend loves this, so we should get it. Mm-hmm. And probably just saw it more of like, oh, but that's like her view and she was really into it, so maybe we'd like it too.
Yeah.
But sex toys are so intimate and specific that's not usually, I don't usually think like, oh, Kara wants that vibrator, that's the one I want.
Yeah.
But it was their first, it seems, or at least talking to you about it, was it their first time in a sex store? Was it the kind of thing that it was something that they're not really used to? So it was like an uncomfortable conversation and bringing you up also. I may be giving too many excuses. What I do think you should definitely do, because you feel this way, is talk to your bestie about it and say, hey, just like in the future when we talk about like bang stuff, can we keep it between the two of us?
Yeah.
I understand why you were talking to him about it, and like, don't come in a defensive way. But if this is something that you don't want discussed between your bestie and her husband, I would bring that up, because I think that I usually do tell my husband everything.
Yeah. But and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like you can assume that your friend is going to kind of tell everything to their husband or their partner. You can't, like, you kind of should assume that. So I wouldn't tell anything to somebody that I didn't want the partner to know. I think what's more embarrassing is almost that I would be embarrassed like you kind of are, or feel weird about it, that she told you that they talked about it. I don't know.
Right. And I do get that.
But again, it's like, I don't know if it would feel, if it's any better to like not be in the dark.
No, because I also am down to talk about my sexuality. But if you came to me and you were the best friend, I definitely would be like, okay.
Yeah, and that's a totally different situation, because like we have dinner together with our husbands, you know, but
they're besties and they're across their way, they're separated from each other.
It's just so different, because I would never say to my husband any of the vibrators that my friends like. I would not be like, oh, so-and-so loves this one, so-and-so loves that one. I would
say that, or I'd say, oh, I heard someone, I think that I would
someone told me this is good.
Someone told me this is good, and not get into the specifics, unless it is like coming from me that I talk about it professionally, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I don't think you're the bitch for thinking this is weird.
No,
I don't know if
you're definitely not.
I don't actually know if you need to like go and even have a convo about this unless it's super bothering you. I would just say, like, the next time something like this comes up, be like, and don't talk like
don't
make
talk
it into
to him about
and
it.
don't talk to Bob about this because I barely know him and you already told him what kind of vibrators I like. You know, like make it a little joke.
Exactly.
Or something, you know, what, because it's like you're still getting to know him, but then even once you know him, I don't think she should do that either. So I think it's kind of like I don't know why she's even bringing up what specific vibrators her friends likes with her husband. I don't really know why. But if that's the kind of relationship they have, and it is kind of weird that she was talking about your vibrator preferences with her husband.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So she is kind of the bitch, but I think that she's probably also extremely, I don't know her, but it's sounding like she's just a very open person and is like, oh yeah, Cindy loves this vibrator. She said that she's been using it for years, you know, like, I don't know. And now that I'm going through it in my mind, it's like, I know exactly what kind of vibrators a lot of my friends like, and I've never mentioned it to my husband ever.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's true. And even if I've received, like if I get a vibrator and it makes me think of another one that another friend likes, I would think that, but I don't think I would say it aloud.
Yeah, but they're in the newlywed phase where maybe they're just telling each other everything. And maybe she thought it would be a sexy little, like, hey, you're helping me have good sex. And she thinks it's like a compliment, you know, that she's telling you about it. So I don't even know if I would go back and revisit it unless it's super bothering you. And then I would just mention it to her and go, hey, I didn't like love that you told him all that. I'm not mad, but can you just like not,
can you
know? I'm just not as like, I'm not like that where I want everybody like knowing what kind of vibrator I use, whatever. And then if it doesn't bother you, I would wait until there's like another moment and then make it into like a joke comment or bring it up as like a thing and say, you know, that's not really... Not something I want you to really mention to him because I don't know him that well yet. And then be like, when can I come to New York so I can know him better or whatever.
Exactly.
And then, but I thought this one was so like interesting because I was like, yeah, I don't want anyone to know that really. But I'm also not like prude, but yeah, I just wouldn't want someone... I am a visual person. Like I would, if you told me Jeff likes it when I do XYZ to his butt, I would think about it for sure the next time we had dinner together.
Of course.
I would.
Yeah.
It would come to my mind.
Yes.
It's
gonna come up.
You know,
just for everyone, that is not a conversation we've had.
For everybody that here, I'll let you know nothing goes near Jared's butt. He hates it. He hates and he's not that I'm into butt stuff, but he's like anti-butt stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
For himself.
Yeah.
For himself. Not for humanity. All right. Thank you so much for writing to us. I'm glad I got to meet you one time at a show.
Oh my God.
I hope I get to meet you again.
And enjoy That's Messed Up.
Yeah. And thank you for being a Tommy and thank you for being a bitchling. I love when people are both.
We contain multitudes.
And you can be a page 7 head too. Don't forget, tomorrow
You're damn
I'm on
right.
page 7.
Yes.
And then head to who'sthebitch.com to, I don't know, submit.
Yeah.
Leave us a voicemail. Leave us as you can hear, sometimes the situations are very high stakes. Sometimes they're very low. We love a mix.
We love them all.
So come and bring us your bitchuations. And we can't wait to hear from you guys next week. Stay tuned for our next bitchathon and follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or Who's the BLPN over there.
Yeah, go check it out.
Right? Or are we Who's the Bitch LPN? I never can remember because
Who's
of the different, oh my God, because of all the
censorship.
All the censorship.
We have to deal with.
Yes, there's too much censorship. I hope you guys enjoyed this extremely clean episode. But
We're
yes.
so wholesome right now.
Who's the Wait, no. It's Who's the Bitch LPN.
Is it really?
Yeah, only Google. Only Google's the one. Who's the Bitch LPN is our Instagram. Follow us. We're going to put up some bitchlets soon. We're going to be doing lots of stuff. And we love you guys. Thanks for bitching along with us.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
January's the perfect time to pause, reset, and rethink what you're sipping. Ritual Zero Proof delivers the taste, aroma, and bite of real spirits without the alcohol. Whiskey for a sour, gin for a G&T, agave for a margarita. There's a zero proof option for every cocktail. A simple 1-to-1 swap makes it easy to mix, enjoy, and keep your goals on track. This January, choose more. More flavor, more cocktails, more moments. Ditch the rules, keep the ritual. Find yours at ritualzeroproof.com.
At Capella University, learning online doesn't mean learning alone. You'll get support from people who care about your success, like your enrollment specialist, who gets to know you and the goals you'd like to achieve. You'll also get a designated academic coach who's with you throughout your entire program. Plus, career coaches are available to help you navigate your professional goals. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.